While Scholz is pondering whether to call Putin before the G20 in Brazil or not, Medvedev reports that the Commission on Manning the Army with Contract Soldiers has begun its work. The Kremlin is determined to destroy Ukraine, and the Bald One is confident that he will exhaust the enemy and force the Western allies to retreat. And no matter how much the terrorist Gherkin whines from his prison cell about the cave bursting and collapsing into a revolution like 1917, he is a spent force. His job is to shut up and die in time. The swamp authorities do not intend to think about the population, whose place is in the trenches. Robotization is a direct path to overcoming the personnel shortage, which affects all industries, said Maxim Oreshkin, deputy head of the Bald administration. So the inhabitants of the animal farm will be minced, after which they will be replaced by robots. This week, Mark Rutte visited Ukraine as NATO Secretary General, supporting Kyiv's right to hit the cave with long-range Western missiles. So far, Ukraine has been launching drone fragments there, which are regularly falling, causing fires. On the night of October 4, oil depots in the Voronezh region and the Perm territory caught fire. There is enough to make pigsties and stables stomp. Maximum mobilization and the construction of a fortress wall to protect against external threats are needed, Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabakov trumpeted, because the West has taken a decisive course toward the strategic defeat of Russia, after which the likelihood of an armed clash with the United States has grown. They are wrong to think that endless attempts to test our strength will not lead to tough countermeasures. Much tougher than what is already being done, Ryabakov threatened. Mishustin agreed with him and immediately cut support for the regions against the backdrop of increased war appropriations. But FSB chief Bortnikov turned on vigilance mode and, looking in the mirror, saw a resemblance to Nasrallah. After which he declared that blowing up pages, radios and other gadgets from the word scoundrel pose a direct threat of assassination attempts on representatives of the CIS authorities. By the way, next week a summit of the CIS leaders will take place in Moscow, and who knows what they carry in their pants, pages or devil iPhones. It's good that the leader of the cattle station is wild and not on friendly terms with technology. They certainly won't rip his balls off, but I'm afraid for Medvedev. There is also concern for Khamenei, who is said to have been moved to a safer location, but is still worried that Mossad could have penetrated him, as it did Nasrallah. But while the world celebrates the Jewish New Year, Iran can relax. It is unlikely that Israel will strike back after a large-scale missile attack from Tehran. Waiting for the inevitable, Iran asks the Kremlin's idiot's friends Iran for help with satellite reconnaissance. The axis of evil sparks, sending signals from metastases to the main source, and vice versa. In Moscow, they are stretching the concern along with Guterres, but they dream that the escalation of tensions in the Middle East could lead to a reduction in crude oil production in Iran, after which the price of Brent oil will soar to $200. True, the Kremlin does not take into account that the Saudis are capable of flooding the market with their cheap oil, acting as a shock absorber for price hikes. On the eve of October 7, the rat's birthday, the Russians are strengthening the defense of the Crimean Bridge, suspecting that Ukraine may give the bald man a fiery gift. The furry ones brought barges and installed the Pantsir air defense missile system, preparing for a possible attack on the Kerch Bridge. During oral hearings at the arbitration tribunal in The Hague, the representative of Ukraine Oksana Zolotareva demanded that Russia be obliged to dismantle Putin's illegal construction, since this is the only way to resume passage through the Kerch Strait for ships of all countries. The possible landing of the bridge on water darkens the mood of the leader, not even pleasing him with the capture of Ugledar, where the lapton-legged ones, after 2 years of battles, unfurled their rag over the ruins. The psychosis is also intensified by the approaching date of the US elections, where the bet on Trump may not work, after which the political gamblers will be presented with a bill. A bad feeling also grips the woolly thinkers, who understand that the system may break down. Political scientist Paschakov notes the godlike nature of the rat, but predicts that everything will fall apart as soon as it is gone, and the sacralization of a new genius will require time and the great brains of Pavlovsky, who has already died. Other cave brains expect a purge of the personality cult with howls of, "They forced us," and a revival of the oligarchy like in the 90s, with a new redistribution of property and the persecution of the conventional Petrushevs and Kovalchuks, who will be appointed guilty for everything. At this time, the good Russians, who dreamed of returning to the ruins with perestroika, are barking among themselves, nullifying their chances for the future. True, the swamps have always spat out new leaders at the most unexpected moment. They were disgusting and vile, cruel and treacherous. So it will be this time. The main thing is not to feed the natives humanitarian aid. Let them rush along the bumps, sorting things out with each other, and forgetting about Ukraine, Europe and America. What the hell is America when your stomach has stuck to your spine? There is no time for geopolitics or a fight with Washington. Here you need to look for internal enemies. And when you hate everyone, it is very easy to find the guilty ones.